Perfion PIM is really simple to navigate. On the left hand side you have your category structure, and when you click any node in the structure, on the right hand side you see the related products. You naturally also have the option to search for anything, an item number, a color, or whatever you need to search, and you'll see those items on the right hand side. Now in the categorization structure, you can see that when I click coffee machines, I have three products that are basic products with no variants. If I click my coffee makers, you'll see that my products are now grouped in these kind of folders, and then the individual products. This is Perfion's way of handling products with variants. So the Shamboard here is not really a sellable product. It is a virtual product that is apparent to these 6 items that are your actual SKUs, the ones you sell in your shop. But with this structure, we're able to manage data for the individual SKU at the SKU level, and we're also able to manage all the shared data up here at the parent level. So this can be done in 2 levels like we see it here, but it could also be done in 3 levels or in multiple levels, like I have an example of here. So here in Pots and Pans I have a product called Cocotte Round. I have that in 3 different color variants, and each of these color variants I can sell in different sizes. So in this case my SKUs are down here at the 3rd level, which enables me to manage data at the color level, but also at the product level, and let that data inherit down through the hierarchy. You can manage data for products in 2 different ways in Perfion. One is of course via the item card. Now if you open an item in the item card, you have access to all the data on that particular item and can manage anything that you need to manage. The item card, you can zoom in on the specific types of data via this menu here on the left hand side, or you can easily find a specific feature. For instance, if you need to manage the weight, you can just filter and remove all the other attributes. If you are specifically focused on translations, you can look at any localizable feature by activating this filter down here. And this is an example of how you can Perfion's item card work with languages. So now you have the English text here on the left hand side, and you have the German text here on the right hand side, because those are the 2 languages that I have loaded in my item card. So really simple and really easy to manage data for one particular product. But what if you need to manage products or data for many products at the same time? And it's much faster to do that in a grid view than on a particular item card. So in Perfion, you would simply switch to the grid view, and that would turn the right hand side into a more Excel-like structure. And it is really an Excel-like structure because you can simply navigate the cells just like you know it from Excel, make any change to any value, and save that directly in this particular grid. But if you needed to update the weight for all of these 3 products to the same value, say 15 kilograms, you just select all the cell, type in the value, and then the system automatically applied the change to all the selected products. You can also do that with selectable values like color picking from a list. So just select the 2 cells you want to update and hit F2, and that will give you a list of colors. Find the color you want, select that and click OK, and those products are updated with that particular color. Now an important thing in the grid is also the ability to copy paste data from one cell to another. That is supported for all data types in Perfion. So if I want to use this image on the product here above it, I simply hit the Ctrl+C and go to my cell and paste it using Ctrl+V. There's also a safety net under any change that any user make in the system. So if I regretted this change that I just made to this image, I can always go to my log or my previous values using my Control key Alt-H and simply see which values have previously been in this cell. This list is aggregated across all users in the system, so I would not only see my own changes, but I would have the full log of all changes or updates done in this particular cell. So here I can simply just pick the image that I removed just before and restore it, and it will go back into that cell. This principle also applies for deleting entire items. So if I by mistake delete a product, I can bring it back from the recycle bin. Now you'll notice that even though I'm logged in as an administrator, there are still attributes I cannot manage on these items. That could be the brand logo or the category manager attribute. Now the reason for this is that this is not data I really want to manage specifically on the item. It's data I want to pull from some other entities. Now the example with the brand logo is fairly simple. The brand logo is simply inherited from the selected brand. So if I choose another brand, the brand logo will update itself. That is what we call single source of truth. You don't want to manage both the brand and the brand logo on the product because the brand and the brand logo always are related. So let's pull the logo from the value that you actually choose, which is the brand. Now the same is true for the category manager. The category manager is of course inherited basically from the category that the product is in, but it's very nice to have it displayed on the product in many different situations. Now the principle becomes very clear if I go and add the category manager attribute here on the left hand side. You can see who is the manager for any of my categories. And if I grab any of these products and simply drag them to another category, let's drag it here to pots and pans. Now Hans Henrik is the category manager for this category, and then of course when I move my product into that category, Hans Henrik automatically becomes the category manager for this particular product. Now you want to make sure that all your products have all the essential data needed when you sell them in your different channels. For that we use the dashboard in Perfion. In the dashboard you can set up different widgets that monitor different kinds of data. A good example of monitoring data quality is the widget that I have down here. It's called Dimensions Incomplete. It basically shows you if there are any products in your system that does not have the necessary dimensions data. And in this case I have 3 products in my accessories category and 1 product in my pots and pans category where some of these essential dimensions data are missing. So all you need to do in Perfion is simply click this bar here in this widget, and Perfion now does 2 things. One is that of course it loads the 3 products that are represented by this column in this widget. But another clever thing that Perfion does, it also loads the attributes that are relevant in this context. And because I'm looking at dimensions, of course the grid will load the weight, the length, the width, the height, and my concatenated dimensions feature out here. And it's really easy and visible for me to see that the missing width here is the problem. So I'll just select these cells, I'll type in the width that makes sense for these 3 products and apply that. So by doing that, I applied this width not only to this cell, but actually also to the concatenated feature out here called dimensions. Now to complete the job, all I need to do is click the pots and pans, do the same, fill in the missing length, could be 23 centimeters, and I'm all good. When I go back to my dashboard, I'll see that all my products in the system now have all the dimensions data that I needed. The dashboard in Perfion can also support the processes you have that brings product safely from creation over enrichment, translations and approvals into publication in your different channels. In most companies, new products are created in the ERP system and then synchronized into the PIM system. The synchronization in Perfion is handled by our actions. Actions in Perfion is a toolbox that allows administrators to build all sorts of integration with other systems and also automations inside Perfion. In this case, we simply want to run an action that synchronizes product from our ERP system to Perfion. When the action is run, we can see that 5 new products were created in the ERP system and are now ready for enrichment in the PIM system. We can also see that 3 processes can actually start at the same time. Masterdata people can start working on Masterdata, product people can start working on specifications, and marketing people can start working on texts and images and whatever marketing needs to add to the products. Each group can now go to work by simply clicking the widget that are relevant for them. So if I'm in a Masterdata team, I'll just click my Masterdata widget and Perfion will load the 5 products and the attributes that are relevant for me. I have a completeness score that helped me monitor how complete my products are, and I could simply freeze this in the grid and then start looking at the data that is missing. So I can see that an EAN code is missing, so let's just type in something here that represents an EAN code and keep scrolling. I can see that the height is missing, so let's add some data for the height. That could be 8 centimeters, and so on and so forth. There's a brand missing here. These are Sage products, so I'll just add the Sage to this brand feature, and I'm all good. I can see that my completeness is now 100%, and I can go ahead and approve these products from a Masterdata perspective. That means that when I go back to the dashboard, my widget says 0 because the Masterdata is now complete for these particular products. Now the product people can do exactly the same. They'll just click any of the bars here in their widget, and the grid will now load the products and the features that they should care about. In this case, for cups, it's just diameter, which could be, I don't know, 6 centimeters, and volume, which could be 0.35 liters. So all they need to do is add that to these cups and approve those. Now in the same widget, I have 2 coffee machines. And when I click that, notice that the grid will automatically load the attributes that are relevant for coffee machines. So in this case, you have water tank capacity, number of bean containers, and so on and so forth. Cable length here is missing, so I'll just add 1.2 meters to these 2 products, and I can now go ahead and approve these also from a specifications point of view. So again, going back to the dashboard, the widget shows 0 because the product people have now done their job. Next up, marketing can go to work. They simply click their widget, they see the same 5 products, and they see the attributes that they should be concerned about. One of these is the description attribute. And I can see that there's a description missing here for one of my products. I could of course start writing that description myself, but why not use some of the AI capabilities that are available out there in the market? As an example, we have built an integration with ChatGPT, and I can simply ask ChatGPT for a marketing description by executing an action on this particular item. When I do that, Perfion sends some of the information we already have on this particular product to ChatGPT and ask for a marketing description. And when I get that one back, all I need to do is refresh the grid and I can see the suggestion that ChatGPT wrote. So here is the text that I got from ChatGPT, and I can of course edit it, or I can just proceed with the other attributes that I need to complete if I'm happy with this particular text. As a marketing person, I could also be responsible for product-to-product relationships and images on the particular product. Product-to-product relationships, well, that could be upsell, cross-sell, spare parts, and other things. In this case, I have an upsell feature here where I just want to promote some related products that could be relevant in a sales situation. So let's assume I just want to promote one of my thermo jugs. So I'll just pick the one I want to promote and apply that to these 5 products. Last on my to-do list is to add some lifestyle images. Again, I'll select all 5 cells. I'll hit F2 and I'll pick the images from my image library that I think could be relevant for this particular product or these particular products. I can pick different images here. I can sort them so I'm sure that I have them in the right order when I use them in my catalog or my online product detail page or whatever, and apply these to my product. So as a marketing person, I'm done. My completeness is 100%. I can go ahead and approve these, and the end result is that when I go to the dashboard, we can see that all of these 3 processes are done. So now we need to look at some translations, and then we can start publishing these products into our different channels. Spanish translation should of course be handled by a capable Spanish translator. This user will have a separate login to Perfion and a dashboard that's tailored for his use. The Spanish translator only has access to one widget in his dashboard. Clicking that will bring up the same 5 products that we've seen a number of times, and again the attributes that make sense in terms of translation. Now you can see that all the English text here are grayed out, and that's because the translator does not have rights to change any of the English texts. Instead, the translator will bring in the Spanish language in the grid, and he'll now see two columns, one with the English text and one for the Spanish translation. Now the translator could of course now go ahead and start writing the translations himself, but again, why not use the services out there that can help automate these processes? Perfion has built-in integration with Google Translate and DeepL, two translation services that can help translate your texts. So all the translator needs to do is select the cells that he wants translated, use a shortcut, and then let the system bring in translations. So in this case here we have translations suggested by DeepL. The translator can now go ahead and proofread these, and he can do the same with the subheader and the item name. And when he is all done, he'll do exactly what the other employees did in the dashboard, approve these from a translation perspective, go back to his dashboard and see that his job is done. It's now time to publish our 5 products into our different channels. First up is our webshop. Now, publishing products in Perfion can be done in 2 different ways. The simple one is via drag and drop. If I want to use that method, I'll simply go to my publish work mode out here on the right hand side, which will basically split my screen in 2. On the left side I still have my products, and on the right side I now have my different categories. So up here I can, my different channels. So up here I can choose the channel that I want to work with, and in this case that's my e-commerce website. That loads the structure and the categorization of my website here on the right hand side, and when I click each of these nodes I can see the products that are already assigned to these different categories on my webshop. So all I need to do now is select the products on my left hand side, drag them into the category that I want them to appear in on my webshop, and drop them there. And I can see immediately that they are now present in my cups and jugs sections on my webshop. I'll do the same with my 2 coffee machines and put them in brewing, and I can see that they are now part of my brewing category. As an alternative to this drag and drop method, I can actually also do the publication directly in Grid. So if again I switch to my grid layout here, I have attributes that I use to control where on my web shop these products are actually located. So as a result of my drag and drop, I can see here which categories I actually put them in on my website. But there could be a different way of doing this. If I don't want to do drag and drop and manual, let's delete these and start over. I could build an automation using Perfion actions. So in this case I have built an auto categorization feature, and when I flip this one, a trigger and an action in Perfion now runs in the background and then auto categorizes these 5 products in terms of my website. So when I reload my grid here, I can see the suggestions made by this automation. And I can see that the automation suggests that the 3 cups will go in accessories, cups and jugs, and in the new category, and my 2 coffee machines should go in brewing and in new. I can accept that as it is, but I can of course also alter it. So I say, no, I don't want these in accessories, I just want them in cups and jugs and in new. Then that's fine, I'll just remove these, and this will be my final choice. Next up in terms of channels are print media. Perfion has a lot of capabilities for generating print, so let's take a look at that. One of the capabilities that Perfion has is that it can auto-generate data sheets. You build a template in the system, and that template is then automatically applied to all the products. So you can preview that result by just clicking the link right here in the grid. Perfion can also help you generate catalogs and price lists. To do that, I'll switch to my card layout again because I want to go into my work mode with the publish details. In this time I'll choose my catalog, and just as we saw with the web shop, I here on the left hand side have the structure of my catalog. I can click the nodes and I can see the products that are currently in the different sections of my catalog. So now if I wanted to add my 2 coffee machines here to my catalog, I could simply drop them on a node here that we saw before, but I could also drop them directly in the right order relative to the products that are already in that catalog. So I want these to be part of the coffee maker section here in my catalog and appear as the first 2 products. So when I'm happy with the assortment, I can now go ahead and actually publish the catalog. I do that by simply selecting Publishing up here, choose a template, give it a name, and hit Generate Publication. A few seconds later, the catalog is ready for your review. Naturally, the design and layout of the catalog is entirely up to you. You build the templates, you control the layout. In my example here, I have a front page, I have an index, which is automatically generated by the system. I have an opening text, and then I have my different product sections. In the first section here, I have my coffee makers, and you can see that the order of products is respected as I control them inside Perfion. When I scroll further down, I'll have my coffee brewers, and you now notice that these have a different design. And that is because I can have individual design templates for the individual sections of my catalog. When you're happy with the catalog, you may also want a price list to go with the catalog. That's easily generated with Perfion. Just go to New Report and select a template for a price list. In this case, I want a price list that actually has customer-specific prices. Now that's a neat little thing that Perfion is capable of doing. If I choose this one, you can see here that I'm actually capable of choosing any customer that I have in my ERP system. The customer list from the ERP system is synchronized into Perfion, and in here I can choose any one of my customers and have the price list prices for that particular customer from the ERP system included in my price list. So let's choose Progressive Home Furnishing and click OK. And then I just need to give my price list a name and an output language and hit Generate Report. A few seconds later, the price list is ready. You can see that it's generated for the customer I chose, and the prices for that particular customer are included in the price list. You can also see that the price list is more than just an Excel sheet. It's a nicely formatted layout with information about the products, EAN code converted to barcodes, and all other sorts of information that you want to include. The design is completely up to you. You build the template, you decide what the price list should look like. The last thing on our list is syndication. Syndication is all about sharing data with external parties. Each party may have special requirements in terms of how they want to receive data. Someone wants an Excel sheet, someone wants an XML file with a specific XML format, and someone wants a whole third thing. Perfion Actions is capable of handling the transformation of Perfion data from our internal format into any format that your external parties would like. I have two examples here. One is we want to generate a simple general price list, just an Excel file that contains information about products and our retail prices. All we need to do in Perfion is consider which of these 5 products should go in this price list. In this case, let's just say we want them all. So I'll just put a yes in this attribute, indicating that these products should be included in our price list. It may also be an example like if you sell products on Amazon. What I have here is not a real Amazon syndication example, but the principle of this is that what you do in Perfion is you select which external category do you want your products to be in. So if we take these 5 products and assume that we have Amazon's categorization structure here, we'll choose in which Amazon category we want to put our products and click OK. So Perfion now knows that these products should be in the general price list, and they should also be in the data that we ship to Amazon and be put in this particular category. So all we need to do now is flip this switch and say, yes, we are now done with our syndication, and Perfion can now go ahead and generate 2 new files. The 2 new files are now available on the destination of your choice. The general price list contains exactly the information that you have decided and included in the action, and you can format it any way you want. The XML file is structured in a way that you have also decided via an XSLT script that exists in the action. So that means that you can build any XML format that is required by the recipient. That's it. Our 5 products have now been enriched, validated, translated, and approved, and they've been published into our different channels.